A quick little introduction while we're getting settled here. So my name is Tara Coyote. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer about 1 year and 5 months ago. I'm not going to tell my story because this is all about the lovely Dawn Higgins Andrews, who's on the line here. We're going to talk about her in a moment. But for more information about me, you can go to my website, cancerwarriors.com. Also have a Facebook page called Cancer Warriors. And a little bit about a disclaimer before we begin. We made a video, like I was mentioning a moment ago, and we got a lot of great feedback, but we also got a little bit of harsh criticism. So I just wanted to say that we're just telling our story and letting people know that they have a right to choose however they want to heal themselves. We're not saying that our way is the way to do it. We're just basically sharing our story. And also, we're not here to say we can heal you. We are, again, just ladies going through the Healing Cancer Naturally journey. So Dawn, it's such a thrill to have you here, my dear. She's been such an inspiring friend of mine. She has a Facebook page called Rise Up for Healing. It's a great resource. And also a website called Rise Up for Healing. And one thing I love about Dawn is she's so inspiring and positive, and she's so generous. So she created these beautiful turquoise bracelets, and for every turquoise bracelet that is purchased, she's donating one to someone going through cancer treatment. So Dawn is giving back to the world and just such an inspiring soul. So Dawn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I would love for you to share a little bit about your cancer healing journey so far. I mean, you've been on such an incredible ride up and down and here and there. So please share with our viewers about it.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Karen and I became fast and furious friends because we both have such a passion for giving back. It's sort of like, yeah, if I'm going to have to go through this whole cancer thing, let's try to make good of it, right? So,
exactly.
So let me, like she said, my name's Dawn, and I'll kind of do a quick rewind to tell you like where I was and how I got to where I am and started making some different kinds of decisions. Back in 2014, at age 39, I was diagnosed with, which was a stage 2, possibly stage 3 breast cancer. I was a busy mom. I did not have time for cancer. I was like, sign me up, get rid of it, and let's move on. I did not question a lot. I just said, okay, chemo, radiation, double mastectomy. I trusted all of those treatments. I trusted God. You know, I said, okay, let's just do this thing. So I went through a pretty hard year. As you can imagine, I have 5 kiddos. At the time, I still had 1 potty training. So you can imagine what that was like, going through chemo, radiation, double mastectomy with that on my plate as well. Kind of fast forward, and my scans continued to be clean. It looked like that it was localized. The breast cancer was localized. But then just a few months after my last surgery, which was June of 2016, went in for a regular checkup with my surgeon, and they found, in fact, lesions which turned out to be cancerous in the actual radiated skin of the right breast. And so as you can imagine, all of that I felt like I had done and sacrificed over the last almost 2 years felt like it was for nothing, because my cancer continued to progress and be very aggressive and put me in a very life-threatening situation. So in June of 2016, just sort of said, stop the press. Let's open our mind and I wanted to just kind of open my mind and my knowledge to see what else was out there. And the number one thing that I wanted to know was, are there people out there with life-threatening cancer diagnoses that are surviving, who are doing well and who are thriving? And when I started to ask that question of God, the universe, myself, and started to dig in, I started to realize and find out that there were, in fact, many, many people who were surviving and thriving with very, really scary diagnoses. And the thing was, is they weren't sitting back and just kind of letting it happen. And it wasn't miraculous, and it wasn't lucky. It was intentional healing. And they had some common factors that these people that were healing were doing for themselves. And so I just took the attitude, I said, you know what? If there's a formula here, if there's something that I can do for myself, I'm going to do those things. And if there's people out there that are doing it, then I'm going to just trust that my body is ready to heal also. And so made a very conscious decision, an intentional decision to go on a natural healing journey, which did not include the recommended chemo and radiation and surgeries and all of that stuff that I had once done. And so that kind of brings me to how I met Tara and many people now that are also in my community who are also, there's probably people that are watching right now who are in those communities, in those natural healing communities. And so that's kind of what brings me now to 2018 on this journey.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So I really want to talk about the blessings too, because a lot of times the whole cancer journey has such a bad rap. It's like hell and oh, there's so much fear on it. But I think there's a lot of blessings to be found in the journey. And I would love to know what some of your blessings have been for you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think, okay, this is a very bold thing to say, but this is the God honest truth. I think the year between 2016 and now probably have been the best. That's probably been the best year of my life. Even though I had been battling a stage 4 metastatic cancer diagnosis. And the reason is because when you're faced at the age of 39, 40, early 40s with small children, and what you think is this long life before you, and then for a moment, you know, it becomes something that isn't a guarantee, you really have to turn inward. And you really have to consider life. We consider things that are important, priorities. And then most of all, for me, it was turning inward to say, what caused this? What was it? What was going on in my body that depleted my immune system, that caused my body to not do what it needed to do to stay cancer free? And in that journey, there has been a lot of emotional healing. There's been a lot of spiritual healing. And the greatest blessing for me is my faith, and really tapping into faith at a whole new level, and really getting to know my God, and really seeking guidance and wisdom in that way, that I had never experienced before. Even though I've lived a life of worship and faith, and it's just been different over the last year, really having to press in and really be dependent on God and wisdom and knowledge. And it's also been very empowering. This journey of natural healing has been a very empowering journey, because I feel like I've been able to really take back my health, and I've been able to become vibrant in the process. And so the other blessing is being really passionate about sharing that vibrancy and thriving with others, because I saw in my first part of my journey what that looked like, to be in a sad, sick world. And that's such a hopeless feeling. And so then to now be experiencing the flip side, which is the exact opposite, which is living fully. It's feeling healthy, it's healing, it's vibrancy, it's faith-filled. And so having those two very contrary experiences has been a huge blessing.
Well, you're so inspiring the way you move through hard things. You really are such an example for all of us.
You know, like I say this a lot. I say every single day I wake up, it's like, okay, there's fear and there's faith. And
right.
Yeah, I could choose fear, because I mean, stage 4 metastatic cancers can be pretty dang scary. And there are days that fear is a little worse than my faith, but just having to continue to replace that faith. And that faith comes with knowledge. And part of like when I the Rise Up for Healing idea came to me through this journey. And I really do think that was a download from God. God was like, I need you to use what's going on and put it together in a way that helps others and inspires others in more organized fashion. And so the 3 pillars of the Rise Up for Healing movement are, first of all, educate. Be educated and know what the options are, know what cancer is, and know what's out there, so you can be really informed no matter what your choice. And so I'm not here to say that one is better than the other. I know the choice that I made, but I want to make sure that other people that are diagnosed know that there are choices, and they become very educated. And when you're educated, then you can be empowered. And that's sort of like the next piece of it. If you're empowered, and that, to me, then empowerment also comes from faith, but it comes from that education, that knowledge too. And then when you have the empowerment and the knowledge, you can move into action. And that's really when you start making those changes in your life, radical changes that can lay the groundwork for true healing.
Beautifully said. took the words right out of my mouth there. So what have some of the challenges been for you?
Oh goodness. Well, the first challenges were honestly with the medical community. That was a hard place for me because I had walked with an oncologist and a surgeon and been in that community and trusted what they were offering. And so when I got diagnosed again in 2018 as metastatic, and I questioned everything that we had been through together and say, what happened? I'm not even 2 years out, and my cancer has progressed into this place. And so I definitely got some pushback. There was a lot of fear in that. There was a lot of controversy, and that was a huge challenge because it's hard to stand up against that. But again, I got my confidence from prayer and guidance and wisdom, and fortunately a really supportive family and husband. And so they supported me in my decision to sort of walk away from the conventional treatment and go on a more holistic way. And then other challenges were just every day, like I said, replacing the fear with the faith and knowing that I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how long I'll be here, but none of us do. I mean, that's
Right.
the honest truth, and so just being challenged with that mind, replacing, negative thoughts with really, really positive ones.
Yeah, I agree. It's a daily choice of how you're going to walk in the world for all of us, really. But when you have a life-threatening diagnosis, it ups the ante for sure.
Definitely.
So what are some last parting thoughts you'd like to share with the listeners, of advice possibly, or words of wisdom for other people going through a life-threatening diagnosis?
Don't be afraid to trust yourself. I think that's a big one. I think intuitively our bodies know what we need. That we were truly designed for healing. Our bodies are in a constant state of trying to make us better. I mean, it's obvious when we get a cut, right? What happens? You get a cut, immediately the blood rushes, the bleeding stops, the red blood cells make it stop, and then you get a scab, you get a natural Band-Aid, and your body heals. And so we're really designed to heal. And there's many things in our environment and nature that we're put on this earth for healing. And it's a matter of really trusting our bodies to do, in fact, that. Now, in order to give our bodies what they need to heal, we have to make changes. And I'll just kind of share some of those changes that I've made. Now, not all of them were easy. They didn't all come like I didn't wake up one day and do all of these things. It was a process, but I was committed to the process. And, first is an easy one, like no sugar. Hello, like that's just such an easy one that most people can't do and won't give up. Eliminating sugar from the diet, eliminating fattening foods, the typical Western diet really is contributing to disease. So taking that nutrition piece and being very focused on lots of fruits and veggies, lots of juicing, lots of everything organic. We could go on and on and on about that in itself and how important buying organic is. I do hope that there becomes a greater awareness about the pesticides and so forth that are in our fruits and vegetables that are causing problems. So, taking that sort of a radical approach for taking your health back. And then finding a supporter if you're going through if you have a cancer diagnosis or any disease for that matter, but finding a doctor or someone that's going to care for you, that when you walk into their office, you feel loved. You feel cared for. You feel like that person's on your team and they want what's best for you. If you're going into an environment where it's stressful and if you feel like a number and you feel like that you're on your own, then I would just say question that a little bit, because we want, in order to truly heal, it has to be mind, body, spirit. And so that's very important for the spirit and the mind to be in a place of peace and joy in order for true healing to take place.
Brava. I totally agree. Words of wisdom from the lovely Dawn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today. And thank you, all of you who showed up. We really support you with whatever's right for you. Take excellent care of yourself, and may we all thrive and be healthy. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tara.
Bye.